sometimes you find yourself in a weird political environment. And one of the top ones was this guy named Wilkes Booth. Now, Wilkes Booth wasn't an actor. He was the Brad Pitt of his day. He would have been recognized anywhere in the United States. He was on the front of newspapers. Anytime a play hit and he was there, it was like a sold-out crowd. He was not just some dude that just decided to do something one day. He was like the most popular actor, you could say, arguably in the United States. So privately, though, he was a Southern sympathizer. Back in those days, you actually knew ahead of time where the president was going to be. Not always today. Sometimes they release the president's schedule a day or two before, etc. But back then, it was pretty much known where the president was going to go, because friends would be arranged to be with him, word would get out. There was not this hush-hush type thing. So people pretty much knew that he was going to be possibly at that weekend looking at the play Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater. So when he got there, John Wilkes Booth already knew he was going to be in the presidential box that night. And he had time to prepare. Now, everybody I'm going to talk to you here was actually taken to court. Everybody in fact, with the fervor of the fact that they killed the president later on that day, everybody that came in contact with Booth was now purportedly part of an assassination plot, whether they were or not. Interestingly enough, the day that Lincoln is shot and killed, that morning he signs into law the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the Secret Service was not meant initially to protect the president. It was to go after financial fraud and dealings of that sort.
I didn't know that.
Later on,
Fort Knox, essentially.
the Secret Service was made to protect the president, but he did not have a protective detail. He had a somewhat of a protective detail, but not, watching everything, which would have caught a lot of things in the former story. For example, Booth had set this particular stick that he had measured, cut in a certain, so that when he went into the booth, he could jam it there and no one could come after him. Yeah, there's a lot of things he set up. So it was a lot of premeditated. And when he saw his premeditation, they were wondering, well, who worked with him? So after he shoots Lincoln, jumps off the stage, what did he say?
Sic Semper Tyrannis,
Yeah,
right?
Death to all tyrants. He's basically limping off the stage because even though he's made that jump before, he's very well, but he got caught. His spur got caught on the flag, and so he landed wrong. I don't know if he broke his leg, but he basically, I think, that badly sprained it. And one of the people that he went to see was Mr. Mudd, who simply, as he says, set his foot back, basically, popped it back in, bandaged it up, and away he went. A lot of people said, well, that's kind of ridiculous. I wouldn't put that at the level of like an assassination, because how could Booth know that he was going to, he would have to physically say, I'm going to mess up my leg as part of this whole thing. And that's one of the reasons he wasn't shot and killed or hung, as many of them were, including the first female that was ever killed.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it was 8 conspirators that were literally hung within like a week. They didn't mess around. None of this year-long on death row BS today. They were done with, except for Mudd and a few others that were set to life imprisonment. Mudd was sent here for hard labor, and originally it was very, very hard labor. He was probably also here putting bricks up, moving things around, etc. But later on in his incarceration, there was a bout of yellow fever that hit the fort. And they quarantined all these people on one of the island, Hospital Key over there in the middle of nowhere, which has nothing, nothing on it today. And he helped a lot of people survive. He was set free later on in his life. So Mudd officially has been pardoned for this thing and found to be not guilty.